standard crash tests, usually done at 50 or 60 kilometers per hour. It's a controlled, predictable environment. But CATL just decided to double that, literally double it, and they took their new Bedrock chassis, as they call it, also known as the Panshi, and slammed it into a solid steel pole at 120 kilometers per hour. And to put that into perspective, that is highway speed. In a typical EV, an impact like that does not just write off the car, it literally just obliterates the car, and it would quite possibly trigger a catastrophic battery fire. But what happened next actually rewrites the rulebook for EV safety, and it also brings into the discussion a little bit about the new rules, the total ban of fires from China. So today we're looking at a test that looks more like a demolition derby than a safety certification test. CATL has unveiled their what they call Bedrock chassis by name and by nature, it does seem. And to prove how tough it is, they didn't just meet industry standards, they literally just smashed past it. It was amazing, really. So let's look at the numbers because they are staggering. Most global safety ratings like the CNCAP run frontal crash tests at 56 kilometers per hour. When you jump from 56 up to 120, the physics change completely because the kinetic energy increases with the square of speed at 120 kilometers per hour crash, and that will generate 4.6 times the collision energy of a standard test. So CATL describes this as the equivalent of dropping it from a 56-meter building, which is roughly a 15-story skyscraper. I'll take their word for it. I don't know how tall a 15-story skyscraper actually is, but maybe it is. But CATL made the challenge even harder. They did not hit a flat wall. They actually used a central pole, and this concentrates all of that energy into a tiny area, only 1/6 the size of a full frontal impact, and this creates an impact pressure on the battery unit that is 21 times higher than what is required for a 5-star safety rating. So historically, no new energy vehicle in China has ever officially dared to challenge a 120 kilometer per hour frontal pole impact. It's there for the offer. They can do it. Companies just don't decide to do that test because the result is almost always a thermal runaway. It's predictable. They're just going to waste the car doing it. So how did this chassis survive without a single spark? There wasn't even any smoke. It comes down to a complete redesign of how the battery and the car fit together. This is cell to chassis technology. It's not what we've been talking about for the last year, or C2C. Instead of the battery being a box sitting inside the frame, the battery basically is the frame of the car. And it goes much deeper than this. So CATL uses what they call a 3-dimensional biomimetic tortoise shell structure. They've built it using 2000 megapascal submarine grade hot formed steel and 600 megapascal aerospace grade aluminium. So this is aircraft carrier grade. It's an amazing thing, and the arresting structure is designed to disperse impact forces across multiple pathways, slowing the intrusion before it ever reaches the sensitive cells. In the test, this chassis absorbed 85% of the collision energy. For comparison, a traditional EV chassis usually only manages somewhere around 60%. But the physical strength is only really half the story. The electrical safety system is also just as fast. So the moment the sensors registered the impact, the high voltage circuit was disconnected in just 0.01 seconds. To put that into perspective, that's faster than we blink with our eyes. Within 0.2 seconds, all of the residual high voltage energy in the vehicle was completely discharged. This level of safety is not just for show, it's a direct response to the upcoming regulations by China, basically. By July this year, actually, 2026, China is implementing what they call GB 38031 2025 standard, which moves from warning of a fire to zero tolerance. Basically what they've done is it's a policy for fires and explosions in all EV batteries. They're banning them. So it's a weird thing to say, you can't have a fire when it kind of feels like it's not really something anyone really wanted anyway, it's an accident, but they've made it so that the manufacturers have got to make them bulletproof, impossible to actually start a fire with. CATL is positioning the Bedrock chassis as the first to fully exceed these 2026 requirements today. This is obviously a good test to demonstrate the capabilities of your car and the engineering. So beyond just surviving crashes, this Bedrock chassis is actually a skateboard design. So this is the other big thing in this story. All the core components, the powertrain, brake-by-wire, steering-by-wire systems, are integrated into the base, and this decouples, in a word, decouples the bottom of the car from the top of the car. This is a game changer to manufacturers because they can swap different car bodies again. We're going back to the Victorian times, I guess, onto the same safe base, cutting vehicle development time from the usual 36 or so months down to 12 to 18 months, which is already, we're already seeing this tech move into the real world. The luxury brand called Avata will be the first to use it, and CATL is claiming that these packs will support a range of over 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. They've also hinted that this platform will eventually support their new sodium-ion tech, which they expect to be in large-scale use by the end of this year in 2026. For sure, will be in moderate production by halfway through the year. It's already in small-scale production as of November, the end of November 2025. What we're seeing here is actually the end of the vulnerable battery era, I think, and where batteries are something to talk about. They're going to be so reliable, so bulletproof, so unbreakable that I expect in 5 or 10 years it's almost just going to be something we don't talk about at all anymore. It's so dull and boring we wouldn't bother. So if a battery can survive 120 km/h pole strike without much of a puff of smoke, the conversation about EV fire safety has officially entered a new chapter. It's closed, doesn't it, basically? So thank you for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Does seeing a battery survive a 120 km/h impact change how you view EV safety? Do you think these extreme tests are just marketing? Do you think they're a bit, do you think they're a bit nonsense? Do you think they're real? I for sure think they're real, of course. Let me know in the comments below. I'm Ben Alexander. See you in the next video.
At CATL, we focus on more extreme speed scenarios. We made a bold test. Let's take a look. Yes, we pushed the limits by testing at 120 km/h. It is the speed carrying 5.76 times the energy of standard EM test. What were the results? We'll get data soon. The results are in, and they are clear. Our extreme test was a resounding success. The crash test just now proved what happens when a vehicle hits an obstacle head-on. Isn't that shocking? There's a far more dangerous situation, accidentally hitting a utility pole, or a big tree, or a gantry on a highway. The area of the center pole crash is only 1/6 of the area of a frontal crash. This can cause huge pressure. We did a test of this situation, and it was successful again.